everybody. This is Kaipacha with the weekly Pele report. And I'll tell you what, this report I'm going to do a little differently than, Gemini is change, and we got all this going on in Gemini, so I'm going to change it up a little bit. And this will probably be too far out there for some of you, and it will be too technical for others of you. And hopefully most of you will enjoy it. Today is May 27th of 2020. And as you can see, we are coming into, this is a Earth to Venus, Sun, Earth, Venus lineup. Okay, that's coming actually next Wednesday. But what's happening, sooner than that is that you can see if you drew a line from Mars to the Earth and then from Earth to Venus, this would be a 90-degree angle. You see, this is a square. Venus is in square to Mars as she goes retrograde. Now, why is she going retrograde? She is going retrograde because, as you can see, if you drew a line from Earth to Venus, out, over here, you would have, later Gemini. Now we're going to move forward, and you're going to see. Okay, so this is Gemini down here. Okay, you got it, because the Sun is in Gemini, and a chart is drawn from the Earth being the center. So you draw a line out here, and it's Gemini, and this is Taurus, Cancer. Taurus, Aries, Pisces. And it comes around, and Mars is over here in Pisces. So here we go. We're going forward, and we're going forward until when? Well, let's go forward just a little bit more here until the exact Earth-Venus conjunction is happening in June. Here we come. And we'll stop it right there. Boom. Earth, Venus, Sun. Okay? And as you draw a line through the Earth, Venus, Sun, it's going to be in the earlier degrees of Gemini. So it appears, according to the backdrop of the constellations, that Venus is going retrograde or backwards, when in actuality, she's not. But when she gets up, when she comes around here, as you'll see, now let's keep going here, okay? And this is, now the square is exact, okay? This is next Tuesday. Venus is exactly square Mars. So what we have now is we'll keep going forward, and we can see that as we go forward and we move into the future is going to be such that, whoa, stop, okay, such that if you draw a line from Earth through Venus, okay, it's actually moving, it's going to be moving forward through Gemini and into Cancer, and pretty soon you'll see that, the Venus is in Cancer, and it goes on from there. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, okay? So I just wanted to show you what this is. So let's go over here to the chart and see what that looks like astrologically from the chart, okay? Astrologically from the chart, I did this actually back. This was the Sun-Venus-Mars conjunction that you may remember from August of 2019. This was the birth of this Venus conjunct Mars cycle, and also the last time that Venus conjuncted the Sun. Only she was conjunct the Sun actually in the sign of Leo, and that was a superior conjunction when she was on the other side of the Sun. But now she's on the same side of the Sun. It's called an inferior conjunction. Anyway, I want to read to you, okay, the birth of this Venus-Mars, because this is the seed that was sown, the possibility of the masculine and feminine united together. Very powerful seed sown with that conjunction of Venus and Mars. It's a person becoming aware of nature spirits and normally unseen spiritual agencies. the opening of new levels of consciousness. The consciousness is gradually reaching beyond physical characteristics and becoming aware of energy processes, of the dynamism of forces which externalize themselves as life forms. So this is the birth, okay? Now the birth is, it's like I said, it's the beginning of a cycle, whether it's a new moon or a Venus-Mars conjunction. It's just going to keep going. And so what we have then is these two separate after that seed is sown, and then it grows, it grows, it grows. It begins to mature, and then we have our Venus square Mars, right? And that Venus came into a first square with Mars, okay, really, where are we? Okay, January 26th. January 26th, 15 to 15. But now let's see what happens. This square continues for some time, but then Venus races ahead. But now you can see that the sun is coming around. Sun coming around, catching up to Venus. Venus decides to pause a minute. Let's pause a minute in this horse race. It's not a horse race. It's life. It's the human race. Okay, so what happens here? Where is she? Boom. She stations, right? She stationed May 13th. Okay, and that was as the Sun and Venus were nearing. If we went back to the solar system scope, which I'm not going to, but we came back into that, and now she goes retrograde. Watch closely, and comes into this next square. Okay, and that exact square is very interesting. It is on the 14 degrees 2 minutes. I don't know if I really want to get into the minutes with you. I guess so. Here's the minutes. And I want to read to you, okay, the 14th, it's actually the 15th degree of Gemini. So this is the next square that comes out of that seed being sown of us seeing nature spirits and spiritual activity beyond, okay, the physical. Next comes this Gemini, the square from Gemini. Two Dutch children talking to each other, exchanging their knowledge. The need to clarify one's experience through actual contacts with like-minded individuals. Yeah? So this symbol adds something vital to the preceding. The Dutch children seem to have been introduced by the subconscious mind of the formulator of the symbol because of an association with neatness and the open spirit of discussion which has prevailed in Holland. They are children because the new experiences are still fresh and require certification. This demands a clean and opened mind, eager in an exchange of views with one's peers. Yeah? So it's an open mind that is eager to test what is experienced in an exchange of views with one's peers. Now, what I find to be very interesting with all of this is that the very next day, Venus retrogrades back into a conjunction with the Sun. Inanna, in the underworld. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this underworld in a minute. But right now, I want to just finish up with the Astrological mandala by Dane Rudhyar. And the symbol for that degree is bridging physical space and social distinctions. Two people communicate telepathically. the capacity to transcend the limitations of bodily existence. So we see here, that, in order to function in the world of material entities, we need to focus the energies of life in a limited organism and an ego mind that is formed by the pressures of a particular culture and family background. Yet a time comes when the individual can still transcend the limiting boundaries of culture and ego. An effort should then be made to enter a realm of consciousness in which the communication from mind to mind can take a more direct form, because the minds then operate within the one mind of humanity. It is then as if two cells in a human body were communicating to each other, perhaps through some kind of invisible nerve channels, or, as it were, from nucleus to nucleus, by means of vibratory resonance. So I just want to give you this sense. Number one, the seed is sown that we can become aware of spiritual forces and entities beyond our physical world. And then the square from Venus and Mars comes in and says we need to talk about this, we need to share it with like-minded souls, with other people, to validate our inner experience of the spiritual world. And then finally, this Venus comes around to the Sun. The third phase, right, is actually to transcend outside the bounds and limitations of physical existence and experience the oneness of the entire universe. So that's what I really want to talk to you about today. That's what the mantra is about today. But before I turn off this and look at the camera, I want to just do a little bit more with this retrograde Venus, because this is a very, very, very powerful time. I'm going to go back to the point where Venus is 10 degrees away from the Sun. Now, if we rotate this around, this line here is the horizon. This is the horizon. So this is western sunset. So you can see that the Sun, if the Sun and Venus go around and the Sun rises first, right? Then the Sun is going to set first, and Venus is going to be an evening star. You understand that? Venus has been an evening star up until today, May 27th. Because when Venus gets within 10 degrees of the Sun, the brightness of the Sun blots her out and you can't see her. You can't see her because the Sun is too bright. This is what the ancients called the underworld. We will not be able to see Venus. For how long? Let's go. Here she goes. We have the Sun conjunct Venus. Boom. June 2nd, right? And June 3rd, she starts going back. And when she gets to be 10 degrees away, there we are. On June 9th, we will see Venus again. But where are we going to see Venus? We are going to see Venus as a morning star, because Venus is going to rise before the Sun. So this is a transition of these feminine energies from being an evening star to being a morning star. So this is a very powerful, powerful transitional time when Venus conjuncts the Sun, okay, in this inferior conjunction. And it is, like I said, this only happens once every, 584 days it takes to go to do a full synodic cycle of Venus. So, enough of this. I will look at the camera. Okay, well, I hope that this works. I usually use my phone. I'm using my computer. I'm usually outside and it's raining. So I'm using my thing here. I hope that the sound is all right and the camera's not as good, but anyway. I spent that whole time talking about Venus and Mars and the sun, but what else is going on? Everything else is going on. The moon is in Leo, moving right on through Leo into Virgo, and then we're going to have this amazing, what? T-square. Moon squaring the sun. Okay? The sun over there in Gemini and in opposition to Mars. So, Moon, Mars, Sun, T-square happening. This is, and at the same time, Thursday, well, that's on Friday, okay, at 9 Virgo, 12 degrees. Sun over there at 9 Gemini. Well, you can look at the chart at the beginning, but, and then it moves on, and Sunday, Moon moves into Libra, stays in Libra Sunday, Monday, and on Tuesday it goes into Scorpio. So she's, coming through the first quarter square, right? We had that new moon in Gemini. I talked about it last week. And now she's moving on. Change, 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 change. In the meantime, tomorrow, Thursday, Mercury. Mercury comes around, hits the north node of the moon, and then slips into Cancer. So Mercury is the ruler of the North Node, the ruler of Gemini, the ruler of what's going on now, and it's been in air. So he's going to be moving into water. Let's talk about feelings. Let's talk about fears. Let's talk about needs. Let's talk about emotions. Let's maybe even look at the past a little bit. And maybe I'm going to be talking with my parents or my kids or my family. So Mercury in Cancer is going to be joined by the Sun, right, in another month or so, but, so we're kind of, there is a little bit of a shift of focus, that will be occurring, that will be happening, but, what I really want to talk about today, I want to talk about this mantra, I want to talk about love, because it is the Lover's card. The Lover's card, number 6 in the major arcana of the Tarot. The Lovers is associated with Gemini. And we've got this Sun-Venus conjunction happening in Gemini. And Venus is going into the underworld, okay, in Gemini, having to do with love, heart chakra issues, relationship. And not just relationship, but also money and values. Venus rules both Taurus and Libra. When I love myself and feel worthy, other people love me and adore my worthiness. The relationship I have with myself is also mirrored in my relationship with others, right? So this lover, it's very powerful. And of course, I want to show you, I'm going to read to you a little bit today. I'm doing reading today, but see, we'll get this on there. The Lover's card, it even looks a little Gemini, doesn't it? And I'm going to read to you from the Osho, the Osho Tarot, Zen Tarot. Here's the book. Very interesting because I talked about this threefoldness, right? And Osho talks about the threefoldness. These three things are to be taken note of. The lowest love is sex. It is physical. And the highest refinement of love is compassion. Sex is below love. Compassion is above love. Love is exactly in the middle. Very few people know what love is. 99% of people, unfortunately, think sexuality is love. It is not. Sexuality is very animal. It certainly has the potential of growing into love, but it is not actual love, only a potential. If you become aware and alert meditative, then sex can be transformed into love. And if your meditativeness becomes total, absolute, love can be transformed into compassion. Sex is the seed, love is the flower, and compassion is the fragrance. Buddha has defined compassion as love plus meditation. When your love is not just a desire for the other, when your love is not only a need, when your love is a sharing, when your love is not that of a beggar, but of an emperor, when your love is not asking for something in return, but is ready only to give for the sheer joy of giving, then add meditation to it, and the pure fragrance is released. That is compassion. Compassion is the highest phenomena. I want to weave all of this together that I have spoken and shared with you today. I want to weave together, okay, the Sabian symbols that have to do with becoming aware of the spirit of everything. Anthroposophy and Rudolf Steiner talk about the time spirits, the Kyriatides, the dynamies, the group souls, that all elephants have a group soul, and all the giraffes have a group soul, and humans have individual souls, but rocks have soul. There's all these levels of spiritual beings. Okay, the spirit, the mineral spirits, the plant spirits, all these spiritual beings. We are all in a great symphony of oneness. We are all a part of this huge matrix. It is the law of one, the law of love. And this Gemini, we're moving into Aquarius, an age of unity in diversity. And now what I see happening on planet Earth is we are diversifying. We are separating. We are seeing how different, how on the other side of humanity or reality or whatever, we could have, thought on a physical level, right? Or on some kind of a sexual level, animal level, we all look the same. We've all got 4 legs and 2 eyes and 2 ears, or, mostly, right? And we kind of, it's like, yes, but oh my God, are we different? Wow. Just look at how many theories, how many approaches, how many, fingers are being pointed, how much blame, how much fear, how much, I mean, we are in very different, we have different beliefs, we have different values, we have different desires, we have different visions of the future, we have different politics, we have different, it's like, so we can kind of be in this place of like Gemini, too much information, too many videos, too much social media, too many different opinions. It's overload. I can't really, I can't come to what is true or what is real or what is, I can't even trust science anymore, right? So it's just like things are really changing radically. And they're going to continue to change radically. Let us not think that this is a short-term affair, like I have repeated over and over and over again. We are in the eye of the needle. This year and for the rest of 2020, it's going to get more intense. Just wait till next month with the eclipses. Okay, we are heading in to the hurricane. Okay, we're not opening up and returning to some kind of normal or something. It's like, hold on to your hat, cowboy. We're in this for, October, November, December. Wow, Jupiter and Saturn come together finally. Okay, December, January, things are going to just break. Okay, but now there's a lot of, I think, we're going to have some new science. We're going to have some new information. We're going to have some deeper understanding of how things work. Okay, and how to approach, situations, conditions, and, rearrange things a bit. But for now, the learning that we're all doing is that there's nothing outside of all that is. And, we called in this virus. Okay, we called in this economic woes. We have called in quarantine. We have called in, health issues. We've called all this in collectively so that we could see and become aware of that everything's connected, that everything, the spiritual beings behind the phenomena are seeking to show us, reveal themselves in preparation for this age of Aquarius, that we are all one. And until everyone is happy, no one is happy. Till everyone is well, no one is well. Till everyone is, economically stable, no one is economically stable. It's going to continue. We are going to, and the technology is increasing, and we're having to deal with, am I my brother's keeper? It's an age-old question. Are we one, or are we, out for ourselves and individuals? We're moving into the age of the realization of oneness and unity. So yeah, we need good healthcare systems. We need to be taking care of everybody out there. And so there's this it's a big awakening, and it can be shocking, and it can be, in some cases, depressing. Yeah, for radical individualists that, would like to remain that way. But yeah, we're moving forward. And that brings me to the mantra, right? That in the body of creation, right? In the body of creation, all, right? Okay? We are each a cell. And when we all support each other, all systems function well. Personally, this is, our health, our emotions, our finances, our mental attitudes, our beliefs, social systems, healthcare systems, educational systems, political systems, environmental systems, right? When we support each other, if we're all part of this, you may be a brain cell, a blood cell, a liver cell, a sperm cell, whatever kind of cell. You may be an egg, whatever, And so like we're all cells, and this communicating, interconnecting, yeah? Call it contact tracing. Oh my God, right? Where we're weaving. The web is weaving together, and it's very scary. It's very scary. How do we maintain our diversity and our individual expression within the collective that includes so many diverse others that maybe need me, or need my money, or need my time, or need my energy? And I don't just keep it for myself. So this is when we support each other. Yeah, boom. All the systems are going to function well. And this is what the Age of Aquarius is about. This is what the next couple thousands of years is about. We're coming into this. We are the forebearers of a new paradigm where all systems function well, because all systems are aware of their connection to all other systems. We're coming out of ego separation into spiritual union. And life is kind of catapulting us forward where we may not think we're ready. We may not even want to be ready. We may not even want to go there. But it's like, shoo, the future is upon us. So yeah, baby, in the body of creation, we are each a cell. And when we all support each other, all systems function well. May we all support each other. Namaste. Aloha. So much love. It reminds me of Quadrophenia. It's an old Who album. You probably don't remember Roger Daltrey, but yeah, it's Love Rain on Me. I hope that the sound worked out. It's pouring rain on my metal roof, and I hope that this all worked out and that you have a happy time. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.